What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to share 4 reasons that your email marketing might not be working. So that way, if you're doing any of these things, you can get them corrected, and this can be your most profitable and reliable sales channel like it is for so many businesses. So really quickly, if you're not sure who I am, so my name is Kyle Stout. I own an email marketing agency called Elevate and Scale, and our clients typically see 30 to 50% of their total revenue attributed to email marketing. So again, like I said a second ago, this can be a very profitable and reliable sales channel for your business when done right. So I want to share some of the mistakes that I often see businesses making that's costing them a lot of sales and also just engagement, and also, it could just be that they're not even able to get traction at all with their email marketing. So the first thing is not having a messaging strategy, meaning that you don't even have, when it comes to writing the copy for your emails, you don't even have a strategy in place for what you should say in the emails. So what ultimately are you trying to accomplish? Of course, we're trying to generate sales from these emails, but if all you do is focus on what you're selling and you never give any attention to who you're selling to, it's going to be very difficult to generate sales and repeat sales from your email marketing. But even more so, it's going to be very difficult to keep people engaged long term. And that really is the purpose of email marketing, is customer retention. We want to retain all of the new customers we get and then get repeat purchases from those customers to drive up the customer lifetime value, but also be able to get more sales from new customers as well. So that way this whole thing can compound over time. And if you're just, churning and burning through all your list of people, then you're never going to be able to accomplish all of that. And normally what I see with one of the most common problems in those scenarios is that the business just doesn't have a clear messaging strategy. And so whoever's writing the copy for their emails, they're just writing very generic copy. So I have other videos on my channel about creating a messaging strategy and about how to write copy for email marketing, which I would encourage you to check out. But again, the big thing here, just as a place to get started, is to, whenever you're coming up with your messaging strategy, is to think more about who you're selling to than what you're selling, and think about the lifestyle that they are trying to live and how your products fit into that lifestyle, and how can you create content in your emails that is going to help them get more of that lifestyle with or without your products, but doing it in a way where the ideal scenario is for them to buy your products because of the value your products are going to add. And then you can make your products, you can be more persuasive in how you entice them for your products by showing that you understand their wants, needs, their hopes, fears, dreams, all of that, showing that you truly understand them and giving them compelling reasons of why your products and why your brand are the right solutions for them based on their unique wants and needs and all of that. Okay, so the second thing that causes a lot of companies to not be successful with their email marketing is not getting their email frequency dialed in correctly. And what that really means is that either you're emailing way too often or you're not emailing often enough. So I see this, interestingly, a lot of times it's the smaller businesses that are trying to have success with email marketing, and they are spamming their list by emailing way too often. And then a lot of times it's actually the bigger businesses, which should be emailing more, aren't emailing their list enough. So you got to find the balance here. And so the way you can tell is by looking at your engagement metrics. So looking at your open rates, your click rates, how often people are clicking spam and unsubscribe, and of course how the conversion rates on people actually purchasing your products. So over time, as you're continuing to email people, if you notice that you're just steadily declining in open rates and click rates, of course there are other factors to consider, such as your messaging strategy and things like that, and the other things I'm going to mention here in this video. But a big thing is you could look at is like, are you emailing too much? Because that's usually what's going to happen. Is if you're emailing too much, you're going to get to a point where you burn people out and they just stop opening and they stop clicking. On the other hand, if your engagement metrics are really high and they're way above the benchmarks for your industry in terms of open rates, click rates, all of that, then it could mean that you're not emailing enough. And so the way we want to do this here is we want to try to email as much as we can without going below the benchmarks for our business for open rates, click rates, and conversion rates, and kind of finding that balance. So, and then one of the ways that you can continue to send more while still maintaining that balance is going to be for the third thing that I'm mentioning here that people get wrong is not using segmentation for their campaigns. So if you use segmentation, what that means is you're creating smaller groups within your entire email list. So these could be these could be segments that are based around people who have an interest in a particular product, or maybe they have visited your site within the last 2 weeks, or maybe they have purchased a certain product in the past, or they engaged with a certain promotion in the past. And then what we're doing, or it could even be based around gender and age and where they live, there's all kinds of things. But what we're doing is we're taking that segment and now we're going to craft the content in that email to be more specific to that group of people. And this is the reason why we're doing this. Okay, so if you're trying to just send an email out to your entire list, you're trying to appeal to everyone. I guess the good thing is that you're reaching more people, but the downside is that the content in that email is only, okay or good for everyone, right? But no one is thinking, wow, this is really great, because it's just too middle of the road. It's just trying to be all things to everyone. Whereas when you use segmentation and you're being more specific with your messaging to talk specifically to that particular segment, now the other people on your list who aren't getting that email, now they wouldn't like that email, but they're not getting it anyways. But the people who are receiving it think it's great because it's very clear that it is specifically for them. So we want to send out content that's great to a smaller group of people rather than sending out content that's good to a larger group of people. And then by doing this and then replicating this strategy, you're able to end up sending more emails because you create more of these different segments, and then you send out more of these targeted emails to them. And you can do this to where you're getting to send more emails and you're getting to generate more sales, but on an individual level from email to email, they're all getting great performance in terms of open rates, click rates, and conversion rates, because again, the content is way more specific to the person who's receiving it. And then finally, the last thing I would mention here, as far as some of the most common things I see for why email marketing is just not working at all for a business, is that you're getting poor quality leads. So the people signing up to your list are just not a fit. So a lot of times what this can be traced back to your top of funnel marketing. And I have a video on this I think it's called Poor Marketing Attracts Poor People. That's something that a mentor of mine had shared with me many years ago. So it could just be that the targeting of your top of funnel marketing is going after the wrong people. And so everything you did up to that point was effective in getting them to sign up to your email list. The problem is that they're just not the right people who would actually want to purchase from your business. And another common thing I see, it could be a targeting thing, but not so much that they're not the right fit. But a lot of times people are doing things where they're over prioritizing growing their list as opposed to increasing the sales for their business. And so they start doing a lot of giveaways and they start doing a lot of freebie stuff where they're able to get a ton of email signups in a short amount of time. But the people signing up were only there for the free things, and they weren't actually interested in making a purchase in the first place, right? So you've got all these freebie seekers on your list who just sign up for random giveaways and stuff, and they're signed up to a bunch of lists like that, but they were never had any intention of actually spending money to buy your products. So you're better off trying to target real customers, people who would likely want to buy at full price, and then having them get on your email list as kind of like a fallback because they're not fully committed to making a purchase from you yet, and then using your email marketing to push them over the edge and convince them to buy. You're way better off in that scenario than you are with trying to grow your email list as quickly as possible and get as many people on there as possible, sacrificing the quality of those people, because a lot of times those people, there's nothing you can do to convince them to buy because they were never interested in buying in the first place. They were only interested in the free stuff that was being offered in return for them signing up. So whenever you have a situation like that, there's nothing you can do. There's no amount of segmentation and sending the right message to these people because they are the wrong people in the first place. So that's definitely a fundamental thing to look at. But in most cases for businesses where their email marketing is not working, it's one of the other three reasons I mentioned. So they actually have a decent list. They just haven't been marketing to them effectively, and it's just going to take a little bit of time of nurturing that list, just improving the content in your emails, getting them to the point where they now start to enjoy receiving your emails. So now they're starting to get into the habit of actually opening and clicking those emails, and that's going to completely turn things around for you and get to where you can actually start consistently generating sales from your email marketing.